Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. Sorry I'm a bit late again, but I've been to town this morning and I only just got back home about half an hour or so ago. Anyway, before I start, the engine in that is the same engine that's in the Superfast, so you could say that that car is the last hurrah of the naturally aspirated Ferrari V12. It's a shame it has to go, but then things always change and things have to move on and the old ways have to go. Anyway, enough of that. As you know, last week I did a video about the dating advice for 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds that just can't get into a relationship, and on female websites and the professional classes are starting to get worried. This is a sort of finishing off that. As you can see, it's a MBG Relationships, and this is another site specifically aimed at 30-year-old women. This was written by a lady called Akamia Deadweiler, which is her on November 11th, 2022, so it's about a year old. It says, dating seemed so much easier when we were younger. You like someone, they like you back, the two you decided to date. Simple. There wasn't much pre-screening or compatibility issues. However, dating gets more convoluted once we get in our 30s. Well, you shouldn't really be dating in your 30s. Your 20s is the time for a woman to pick a husband that she wants to start a family with. Is your dating your 30s harder? Some aspects of dating makes the process harder, such as a shrinking candidate pool, i.e. the guy that she really wants she's taken, and all the percentage of top guys that she's after is getting smaller and smaller every year. In addition to a more narrow playing field, dating in your 30s means you've probably endured your fair share of failed relationships. So have most eligible singles you come across. That could be, women friends. Someone bound to have baggage or be jaded by past betrayals. That means some of the innocence and fun of dating may be lost. Also, it could mean that you'd be riding the cock carousel. Then why dating in your 30s is better for some people. And then blah, blah, blah. And these are the experts. I should say that's a woman, another woman, and a third woman. In other words, 3 women giving expert advice to single 30-year-old women, and these are probably single themselves. But I digress. Expert advice for dating in your 30s. And then their advice: know who you are, forget the timeline, know it's okay to be inexperienced. Age is always an indicator of experience. Many people hold off thinking about their dating life when they're focused on their career, social life, or hobbies. Notice they put the word career first. In their teens and 20s, and it's totally valid. But if that's you, accept that you're still learning and release the need to put a facade in dating, which is important because authenticity is the key connection. And then heal your wounds. Dating in your 30s means you may have had a fair share of past relationship hurts. In other words, that's like code for riding the cock carousel. Pay attention to trends. By the time you're in your 30s, you're likely to have enough data to recognize patterns in your dating life. Yeah, if you're going to chase Chad all the time, the pattern is you're in with him for a bit and then he buggers off. Now this bit made me laugh. Whoops. Giving up the games. Don't fall into game playing traps. Johnson urges giving up tactics such as waiting 3 days after a date to call or text. If you want to reach out, reach out. If you'd want to ask someone on a date, just do it. And the guy who does 33 Secrets, some of the videos that he's analysed, The women fall into that. They just can't help it. Be clear about what you want. Learn your money personality. That means a woman's got to be financially careful with her income, with her versus her expenditure. In your 30s, financial considerations become much more important than they may have been in your younger years. That's common sense. Financial problems in relationships are also one of the most common causes of divorce. True. He suggests asking yourself questions about your so-called money personality. For example, do you see money as power, status, security? Of course they do. That's why women go after the top 10% of guys, because they have money, power, and status and security. And understand your attachment style. Stop dating for your potential. Sometimes we continue dating someone because we believe they'll be a greater partner one day, whether that's when they're less stressed out. Now, in other words, that's code for the top 10%, guys. Sharpen your communication skill, be open, don't rely on dating apps. That is laughable. When dating apps are a formidable source of meeting new people, you can't be afraid to step away from your comfort zone, date outside your box, attend social gatherings and willing to meet people. But all these women that have gone there, they find that no guys want to go there. Forget the gender roles. I don't know what they mean by that. Gender roles and rules are a major source of playing games in dating. Remember that dating isn't always about getting married. If your woman's in her 30s and she's post-war, it's a case of she is dating to get married and then just take away. Anyway, that's the information and guiding for women in their 30s. Now, if she gets into her 40s, I found this. This is more like a feel-good website for women over 40 who are still single. 7 biases women over 40 beat every day. This was done March 14th last year. And you heard about ageism and visible age gap plagues women after 40. These biases are based on a variety of myths that boil down to women being past their prime, which they are, once they hit that magic age of 40. But we know life doesn't stop at 40 for women. No, but it goes downhill at 30 once you've hit the wall. Myth number 1, it's too late to make a change of career in your 40s. And then it goes, some of the most successful women. A couple of examples. Time for realizing your goals and dreams are not past. Age is just a number when it comes to reinventing yourself. Now this bit is interesting. Motherhood's best years are behind you at 40. Now, this doesn't help physicians call pregnancy geriatric at age 35. But if your life goals unfounded in a way that made motherhood impractical until you're nearing 40 or even beyond, please don't think the window of opportunity has passed. More than 100,000 American women aged 40 gave birth every year, and a positive, healthy pregnancy experience is still very much possible. Now bear that in mind, because I'll come back to that. Myth number 3, you ought to be married before turning 40. She ought to be married before turning 30. Women age social expectations tend to take over, and then we're here to tell you that settling to meet this standard makes you neither happy or fulfilled. The only thing the 40-year-old woman should have is a love for herself and a sense of fulfillment. It can be hard to get past the social expectations, but relationships need to serve you. You need to be fulfilling, and there is no set timetable or age limit on finding love. True, if that's something you want. So in other words, that's saying if you're 40, you can still find the love of your life, even though the guy who's in the 40s, these are options of 20-year-olds, and the guy that's over 40, he doesn't want to get with a 40-year-old woman who's got baggage. Youth is synonymous with beauty. No, youth is synonymous with fertility. That's another thing to get rid of this 40s idea that beauty is defined by age. Not only is this wrong, it is harmful to your mental health. Time marches on, this is one of our and this is out of our control. Aging is a fact of life. True. I'm testament to that, but many people believe the myth that age is synonymous with beauty and simply isn't true. A 20-year-old woman is more inherently beautiful than a 40-year-old. She is. She's got the freshness in her. A 40-year-old looks jaded at times, no matter how well she's looked after herself. Beauty is subjective. That means different things to different people. As you can see, the worn older women, we are winning. No, you're not. If you were winning, there wouldn't be so many older women on TikTok complaining that they can't get a guy. We push back against this idea that women are only valuable and worthwhile when they have their youth as currency, which is true. Companies like Better Not Younger have worked to fill the gap in skincare. Let's have a look at that. She looks post-war, wrinkles and that. We're on a mission to change the industry. Hair is the first thing we notice about people, and for many people it's the first barrier to feeling better about aging. And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you can read that yourself. I'll actually put all these links below. And myth number 5, fashion after 40 equals boring. No, you should dress according to your age. A woman who's 40 shouldn't dress like a 20-year-old. Over here in Britain, we've got an expression for that. It's called mutton dressed up as lamb. Another thing to get rid of the 40 years is the word would, removing it from our vocabulary. Over 40s, we all love about our authentic selves. Fashion in the 90s is in right now. But you should wear whatever makes you comfortable. That includes a miniskirt. Even if you're a 40-year-old woman, I don't want to see a 40-year-old woman in a miniskirt. Sorry about that. Myth number 6, women over 40 have to accept hair issues as part of getting older. That was in that other article. Menopause tanks over overall health. And before menopause, you hit the wall. And then it's just about it. And that's the article. Now, where is it now? Going back to this. More than 100,000 American women aged 40 give birth every year in positive, healthy pregnancy, etc. Now, in America, there's 167.5 million women. If you scroll down, there's the population percentage-wise. To save you doing it, I did a calculation on this. 16.2%, which is this, of 40, of 167 million, is 27,054,000 American women are over 40. These 100,000 pregnancies, where is it? There, of that is 0.3696331110%. Say 0.3%. And this article makes a big issue of it. Okay, 100,000 women over 40 gave birth, but it's only 0.3%. That's less percentage than there is homosexuals in America. But anyway, if you drop down to there, you can click wherever state you're in, and that'll give you a similar pie chart with the percentage of women in the various ages for your particular state. Now, I also covered the subject of the paternity testing. To finish this video off, because I'm probably well over the 10-minute mark now, I found this. It's Vanguard, and there's a massive thing going on in Nigeria. I commented about the Kenyan men questioning the paternity of their children. Over on the other side of Africa, Nigerian men are doing the same. Smart DNA sheds light on child paternity fraud in Nigeria. And this was done September 13th this year, or about a month ago, a little over a month. And it goes on about it. Where is it? The study found that 1 in 4 cases, the tested father was not the biological father of the child. That means 25% of Nigerian children, the biological father is not the father that the guy thought he was. It shows that 25% of Nigerian women are playing fast and loose with their fertility, and these testing to find it out. Now, there's about 190 million people in Nigeria. So, as the Americans say, do the maths, and it gives you an idea how many illegitimate children are being born, and the guys are waking up to the fact that they've got to protect their assets and their income. The comprehensive data analysis of relationship DNA tests conducted at this facility between 1st of June 22 and 30th of June 23, over thousands of users, provides an unprecedented insight into DNA testing trends across Nigeria. The report showed heavy concentration in Lagos, that's the capital, particularly in the mainland, 68.14%. And, where is it? There we go. On gender test report said that men were the predominant initiators of contact, making 86.44% of the first contacts compared to 13.6% made by women. This indicates that men are more likely to have doubts about paternity or other relationships and take the initiative to seek testing. And the report also disclosed that positive results indicating that the men tested in the biological father of the child accounted for 73.88% of the test, while negative results made up 26.12%, or a quarter. Now imagine that was the same happening in America with 167 million women, and the live births of that was 25%. This shows how many millions it was. That's why the state of Tennessee was bringing out the paternity tests. That got overthrown, but over in Texas, looking around, I found this. It's the Shapiro law firm in Texas, working tenaciously to protect your rights and preserve your freedom. Now, this is it. According to Texas law, if a man is married and a child is born during the marriage, that man is legally the child's father. An unmarried man can also establish paternity by signing a formal contract that has 4 years to challenge paternity before it becomes permanent. In either case, no genetic test is required to establish paternity. So situations inevitably arise when a man is legally the father of a child who is not biologically his. In other words, his wife or partner has been playing around. Under old Texas law, he is bound to support that child financially and has no course of action to terminate the parent-child relationship if he is a victim of paternity fraud. Now, the Texas legal people have stepped into it, decided this can't go on, so there's a new law. The new law allows men to use the results of genetic tests to prove that they are not fathers, and in petition Texas courts to terminate the parent-child relationship and child support. Courts will now be required to terminate the relationship if a test confirms no genetic connection between the presumed father and child. So in other words, the Texans are leading the way, even though the Tennesseans have laid out the groundwork, and if it goes into law in Texas, then it'll be a precedent across America. But it all boils down to 30-year-old women can't get in relationships. There's a feel-good factor on this. 40-year-old women, the so-called myths, the population is only 0.3% of this covered in this bit, myth number 2. And there's the percentage calculator. You can calculate that yourself for whatever state if you drop down on that. But paternity test is becoming a big issue in Nigeria, and Texas laws are also seeing what the seriousness of the issue. That's why they put in this new law that can allow a Texas man who thinks his partner or wife has been playing around to say that the child's not his. Things are getting interesting in that. I've found a few more things about marriage, but I think I'm getting on for 20 minutes now for this video, so I'll have to wrap it up here. You know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. It's completely up to you. Until next Monday, I'll try and do it one a bit earlier. That's it for this one. Bye-bye.